Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with the Black Ice mod, and of course we're playing as Deutschland, Germany. Okay, well, I was looking at a few things before, and before we really get too deep into it, we're gonna spend some of our political capital and form some of these guys. As I was saying to the chat here just before, explaining a little bit what some of these are. The Totenkopfverband were the Death's Head detachments. I'm sure Lum knows the German much better than I do, but they were. This is not the later Totenkopf division, but the Totenkopf division was formed from these units. These were armed units, I would say at best paramilitary, meaning they had like rifles, maybe some machine guns, but they weren't like or trained or organized up with like mortars and anti-tank guns, with even anti-tank rifles. These were just sort of rifle carrying enforcers. Now, a lot of these personnel, as more and more camps of various types are being formed. And I say that of various types because, yes, death camps do happen, but they're more 41. Now, people were dying in the camps, but they weren't specifically, or before that, weren't specifically set up as death camps. Concentration camps would be a little bit more the appropriate term. So we're looking at guards, that kind of thing, but the Totenkopfverband were sort of rifle pistol armed enforcement arm of the SS, where the Verfolg und Truppe, I generally call it the SS VT. This is that I would say is the forerunner to basically like Das Reich, as being a military, or coming to the Waffen SS at some point. So they have different sorts of history. So we're going to do this here. And, oh, good. Yes, it says closely associated with Nazi Germany on that. Appointed Oberfuhrer Theodor Eicke as commandant of Dachau camp, one concentration camp. Now Dachau was most definitely a concentration camp, but it was a huge complex. It had various training schools in it, including the basic women's SS training element. So just because now, because I don't want to mitigate, just because someone was at Dachau doesn't mean that they were dealing with prisoners. Oh, I'm sure they knew what was going on in the concentration camp element of it, and I want to make no excuses for any of the people there, but Dachau was also a manufacturing complex, yes, heavily based upon the forced labor element of it. And so organization structure, Dachau, Eicke named commander of the SS Totenkopfverband, SSTV, where the others is SSVT. This is responsible for running concentration camps. Yes, it most assuredly was responsible for running them, but it was also organized battalions, like I was just saying, to be sort of action groups, if you will. So we will form that, and you can see here that we now have a bunch of these garrisons, and that's sort of what I would put them as. A lot of the SSTV were used, say, in the occupation of Poland, particularly in the early days. And yes, they carried out very heinous cleansing actions. I'm sort of watching my language just to keep from being too demonetized. But I, don't want to talk in too many euphemisms or make it seem like it's either a good thing or wasn't a very harsh thing. I'm currently reading Hitler's Empire, and they covered recently done with covering the occupations of Poland leading up to and the early days of the war with the Soviet Union. And there's Ike. And it was as brutal and deadly as anything you can imagine. So, and that was, we can just talk just to the Poles, not to the Jewish minority or anybody else. It was that bad. And and I'm now more reading a bit about how different it was for their occupation in Denmark, the Low Countries, and France, and for various reasons it was very different. Is this in Austria? Maybe we need to let this mark. I thought that was the Austrian formation of. Oh, here it is. Give them all to Ike. So, no excusing it, but we will also form SSVT. SSVT form merge of various paramilitary formations. SS Special Sonderkommando. Now that later on has a it's still special detachment, but has a very grim meaning later on in the war. Yeah, and so this is a unit here. They are the, at least that I know of, the first SS units that are starting to wear gray. A field gray. It's a different gray than the. Let's see. Okay, so this is a semi-motorized, and they were that. We're going to attach them under Hausa. Hello, happy JBH. They were the first sort of gray, like different field gray than the Army, but they were the first SS units really trying to be a military type formation, where the Leibstandarte is trying to be a, especially early on, a bodyguard detachment. So certainly they were armed. Certainly they were proficient, at least in, small unit type tactics, but they weren't at, especially even in 38, really at this. Well, 38, yeah, they're starting to get to regimental strength. Now they were called a regiment when they were sort of, almost divisional size, and they eventually get their size designation always lags behind reality. So they're like a motorized division, and they already have tanks, and they're only called a panzer division later on. They've had tanks for quite a while. Did you ever do the Bismarck focuses? This here has its own focus tree. So if you're talking about Black Ice in Germany, it doesn't have, I don't think, what you would call a Bismarck focus. I do know that there is a, unless I'm missing your meaning, there is a Restore the Kaiser type stuff for regular Boy 4. No, I've never really fully played through that. Okay, so let's continue running the clock here. Speed things up a bit. Okay. German military mission to China. Germany has enjoyed good relations with China since the end of the previous Weltkrieg. Despite the loss of our Chinese possessions, a German military mission has been present in China for a number of years. Alexander von Falkenhausen has made great progress in reforming parts of the Kuomintang army. It's naturally of some concern to the Japanese, given their present war against China. They are demanding the immediate withdrawal of all German support from China. I was looking for it recently, couldn't find it, but I do somewhere. Hey, thanks for hosting, Arno. Hello, Arno. Oh, Bismarck interpret battleships, order them. No, I have not yet done that. Don't know how much we're going to do heavy battleships. We're looking at mostly avoiding naval action with anybody in a major way. Submarines, certainly, but I don't know that we're going to do fleet actions. A picture of a fairly longish train at a train station in China. And at least over one of the rail cars, as long as the rail car is, a big red, I mean, we presume it is, it's black and white photo, but swastika flag on it so that the Japanese won't bomb it, hopefully. No, it wasn't, as the Germans were leaving China. They had the 88th Division was destroyed outside of Nanjing here. I'm calling it Jianjing. I don't know why, but okay. Which was the capital at the time of China. Just trying to defend it. That was sort of the main, though there were a couple other divisions that Germany trained and equipped. And so it was destroyed defending that. That's where you'll see a few pictures of Panzer Is. It wasn't an armored division. I don't even think it would be considered a motorized division, but it had some tanks attached to it. Some Panzer Is with Japanese troops standing on top of it doing the bonsai thing. So the Japanese did get some knocked out German light armor. So yeah, we're going to recall them because we're going down the path of alliance with Japan. We don't want to mess that up. Okay, generals protest. In a meeting with Adolf Hitler today, a number of high-ranking Wehrmacht officers in the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht. Again, I want to that is the High Command of the Army. No, that's the High Command of the Armed Forces. The Oberkommando der Heers is the High Command of the Army. So this is sort of, in a modern-day sense, the Joint Chiefs of Staff for the U.S. Army, and that it's naval, air, and ground forces. Have voiced their concerns about what they term political favorism on behalf of the SS in particular. They are watching the development of parallel armed forces of the Waffen-SS with deep worry. Lavishly equipped SS divisions, their argument continues, only takes away desperately needed resources from the regular army. Finally, independent recruitment could lead to a separate command structures, leading to separation of efforts from all their needs. Okay. 1938. I don't think this happened. I honestly don't think this happened. I think this is just something entirely made up. I think. Now this very, very, and I can rant again about it, very, very badly colorized photo is of, I think that's Rader right here shaking Hitler's hand, and that is presenting Hitler on his birthday with a painting. I think that's what that is. Taken from, I'm identifying it just from this, and I haven't specifically seen it colorized. That's what they're getting that. So it's Hitler on his birthday meeting, getting Christmas or birthday gifts. I don't think this happened. Later on, 41, maybe even as early as 40, that might have happened. The army was, well, one, there was no, until about 41, there was no lavish, what was the term? Lavishly equipped SS divisions. There weren't any. The SS, well, to a point for its whole career, but particularly early on, had to find other non-army sources for weapons and equipment. Sometimes it's called the MG, or no, MP, not MG, MP 34, and sometimes it's called the I think MP 35. The oh, I messed this up, and I know because he's helped me with it before. Solothurn submachine gun, Austrian, uh, made really nice submachine guns, but they were never adopted as a standard weapon by the Army. The Army did end up with some, mainly getting some Austrian stocks, but particularly the SS, because they were never tapped, particularly in this, post-Austrian occupation period. The SS couldn't use supply sources from Army procurement, so they had to go and they ordered these other submachine guns and other equipment, and they were also a fairly heavy user of Czech machine guns, including continued production, because they weren't standard Wehrmacht supply sources or models. Again, the Wehrmacht or the Army did use those models, and I'm thinking both of the sort of medium machine gun on the tripod and the very famous ZB-26, which is a bipod magazine fed, basically the forerunner of the Bren gun if you're used to it. And so the Waffen-SS was needing to get these other sources of weaponry, because the Army had complete monopoly on a lot of that. And it really wasn't until like 41 or later did they finally start getting fairly large numbers of stuff from the standard military supply chains. Okay, this interference in political matters is unbecoming German officers. Assure them that the OKW has final command of all. We're going to do that. It's going to cost us some political points. Though that was sort of what they're saying. What is Happy saying? I don't see the benefit of going with the SS, pissing off the Army results. Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a Steyer type thing, yes. MP. Yeah, that's probably the one there, Arno. Thank you. Watching Star Trek Voyager. I sort of dropped out of that series. Watched maybe the first season and random episodes after that, but I sort of lost interest in it. I watched all of Deep Space Nine, watched all of, the Next Generation, watched Star Trek Enterprise, but I sort of lost interest in that. Oh, Babylon 5 is great. I've recently rewatched it. Okay. Though Star Trek isn't lame. Maybe the Voyager series is, but... Okay, wood gas, 56 days. Well, we're doing reasonably well with most of these industrial technologies here. Let's look over here. We could do radio detection. That would help. HQ radio, but that'll push us down there. Okay, I think we need to do that. And so later on, there is a definitely the fall of Nanjing, the World Cup, FIFA. I guess what isn't FIFA the most hated organization in Europe, but everybody loves the World Cup or something like that. Don't know if they hated it back then, but. Hello, Ari. Good to have you here. Okay, I understand that, Arno. What I really sort of disagreed partially about the series was the conflict within the ship. That is not in the spirit of Star Trek. Few other things, and eventually just sort of went off the rails for me. What do you do? What do you do your sub? templates. Well, I really haven't been messing with my Volksdeutsch. Very good. My sub templates. We can take a quick look. No, not repair. I want this. Okay. It's just sort of the basic models. Oh, I didn't want to actually start that. No, I just wanted to look at it. Cancel, yes. Oh no, I keep clicking the wrong spot. I mean to click out. Create a variant. There we go. Just sort of running basic sort of standard types. We don't have much naval experience to really change things. We can see we have a few the class types that Black Ice put together. Okay, new national focus. We just got done with where was it? The Volksdeutsch. Now we want to expand the labor front because we're looking for the KDF because we want to establish Volkswagen and other things. So another 32 days. So we're definitely going to do sub-warfare. I don't know how much mine warfare will do. I do want to try to, and though it's... I don't know how difficult it's going to be to get to aerial mines. The Beck question. Due to our aggressive foreign policy and rearmament program, General Ludwig Beck is speaking out against the Führer's plan. Such high-ranking military leader is a powerful voice in opposition to us. Do we dare allow this man to impede Germany's secession? He must be removed. Maybe anybody's too. Now, if I remember correctly, Beck is removed, but he later is brought back in once the war starts. Let's take a look at his... I don't know if this adds him back in or not. Later on, because I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this story right. Why didn't I see him here? Bach, yes, student. Well, I don't even see him here. Got von Stauffenberg. He was no general at this time. I doubt he was even a captain. Might have been an officer. Will be removed. Whatever. Thanks, Arno. I'll keep him, always keep him, sorry. Hello, IKB. Just you had Sun's stealth level 1, increase your range to long range subs. Work best in deep ocean water to yes, create current don't have the range currently, so subs. Oh, sub, right, okay, I got you. Yeah, I think you're right about that. What I'm hoping to do, and I don't know, I haven't quite honestly looked at it, but Kriegsmarine U-boat effort, I'm hoping to get some of the bonus for research here, 28 days. So that's pretty quick. Maybe I'll do that next. Get some of that, and that's also Naval Dockyard. That's very good too. You know, but we want to go U-boat effort, most assuredly, before starting to research things to sort of use the national focuses to benefit our research when and where we can. We're going to build some or get some via a national focus, as per my previous our discussion of anti-air. Both, I believe, in the game and in reality, anti-air is useful, but overdoing it is not the best way to go. It's better to have some around, and then have primarily aircraft deal with it. Hey, Toy Jet. So let's see, we can do this fighter, we're getting a 30%. So I want to get to the Emil and then start producing the hell out of better fighters. Okay, so we can produce more factories. I've been warned, and I think they're right about the warning, more and more fuel storage. I want to get to building synthetic rubber. Well, we have a bunch of small arms factories. Let's build some truck factories. That'll help. Okay, so we'll build some truck factories. They'll be fairly fast. And sorry, people, I don't do math well. These factories will help with vehicle production. Obviously, having more military factories added to the production line would help with vehicle production. I don't know the best formulas to tell you what the ratio is. Obviously, if you need more models, you know, different things produced, obviously you need more military factories. But getting the factories you have more efficient is also a good idea. Now, also those these other you can see construction cost 4,000 versus construction cost 8,000. So it's about twice as quick to build those time-wise, and then use the same amount of civilian ICs to build each one. So they are obviously cheaper to build. So keep that in mind. Let's go back to here. Okay, transports. We need more transports. We're not getting enough of those. Where we're getting, these are coming up, well, at least 5 times as fast. We're about the same deficit. We could use another Panzer IV factory in production. Thank you, very loud motorcycle driving away. Okay, so let's one of these, because it looks like, oh, we only have one. Okay, but the next one we will make it so we don't lose it. Where's Panzer IV? Another Panzer IV in production. Factory production going on. I'm going to more radios. Yeah, we're going to do more radios too, but those are producing faster. I'm going to wait. I know I've waited for that. Better. I want to get to a better, preferably this Model P here, medium bomber. I see. I don't want to keep changing it each upgrade. So, and we've only have one of those. So I'm going to at least wait, because I'm not sure when I'm going to get to all of these. No, we're not pulling our observers out of China on the Japanese side. So we're going to wait, and then we're going to do major upgrade. At least that's the current plan. And right now I'm just looking at numbers. And you see we've already got that. So, munitions factory. Yeah. France and Britain announce an alliance. Okay, well, I think this is a bit premature. That really didn't happen until after the Sudetenland has been taken. Okay. Drugs help stability, help population, monthly population. So that's really good. Think of cheeseburgers. That is weird, or no? Yeah, no, Yunnan, yeah. No one's going to listen to them. Though China did. Oh, Japan is making really good progress in there. China did ask that before, and I've already said no to them. As the main republic. Well, let's come over here. Let's start moving down this bomber tree a bit more. Okay, Toy Jet, thanks for being here. Maybe see you if you get back later. I don't go full out Plan Z, but I get the historical battleships done. Yeah, I'm not against the idea of doing the historical battleships. But to be just quite honest with you, I don't know what I need yet. Like when I started playing, and you can go back and look at it, the audio's terrible. And my skills weren't as good. Go back and look at my first Black Ice Hearts of Iron 3 series. I had played Black Ice so much. I really knew what I was doing in on Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice for what it was going. And so there, a few people, oh my god, particularly, was a very good min-max player for that. So there are some better players than me out there, but I was something of an expert of really what, needed to do and could get done. Here, I have not really played a proper game of Germany with the new oil. Thanks. So I'm still lost in the woods, and of course Black Ice is different than a regular version of things as well. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. We're going to do the U-boat effort now, which will get a little bit of that done, and it's pretty quick. What I need, not how many tanks do I need? How many aircraft do I need? Am I doing that well? What's the steel consumption levels do I have? Can I build my favorite flying boats? I just don't know enough to feel comfortable putting too much resources into building capital ships. Now, obviously, we have a, and I do really like this about this game in that shipyards only build ships of some type. Well, I'm slowly building some extra transports, as you see here. The rest are put into submarines. These guys are just going to get done when they get done. The Panzer shifts here. And so, since these are already in production, I'm going to complete them. Scharnhorst and Gneisenau, I presume both of them, one of is what those are to be. But so I'm reluctant to put anything in until I really know. Are you going to do the affiliation? Not quite sure what you mean by that, Ari. Can you get better transport planes? Well, I currently haven't gotten any better ones researched. Do they have different models here? I just don't know. I haven't looked around this well enough. I'm not seeing. Oh, well, they have well, those are flying boats. Those may be attack. Because they do have, obviously the Gigant that started out as a glider and changed to a, a giant transport. And, well, okay, well, here we go. HE-111Z transport, HE-111, HO2R2 transport. So I presume these are, once we get there, we can improve some transport planes. Probably, presumably, greater range and transport capacity and things like that than the standard. So, don't know all of what they've done yet. Oh, well, yeah, happy. I'm very happy to have suggestions. I'm going to stream twice on Twitch. Yeah, well, I'm planning this tomorrow, if you may have noticed, I'm moving. I've decided, at least currently, things may change later on, but tomorrow's War Thunder, I'm deciding to stream on Twitch instead of YouTube. I'm thinking about maybe a Tuesday afternoon, my time, YouTube stream of something not War Thunder, at least mostly not War Thunder. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. Armor attacks, soft attack, rotating turrets. Don't know if any of these really. Do I think these help the generic tanks? I don't know if somebody knows. Do these help? These tanks? Okay. Maybe I should have built Charnas. Oh, Doruk. How you doing, my friend? And thanks. Maybe you can answer. You know Black Ice a little better than I do, at least the current version. Do these techs here help out the German tech tree model types or not? Very good to know, Happy. And yes, by you posting here, do know that it's being recorded on the screen so that people who watch this can learn from it as well, even if I don't get to use it in this playthrough. So, okay, we're up on all of those. Looking for 38 technology, recon, infantry equipment improvements. What are these? Motorcycle. $81 days. Let's just grab Signal Company and research that. Railway guns, we'll see, Ari. I'm surprised that it's not IKB pushing for the railway guns, but yeah, we will see. Those there, but they're 1940s tech. Improved catalytic cracking. It's over here. Okay, so that was bomber workshop stop. Okay, there's improved catalytic cracking. Good. So improved oil plant. Where is rubber processing? Okay. Improved oil plant. So we need to do the improved oil plant first. That's still a little bit later. Okay, just looking at that. I don't want to try to some degree maximize my efficiency in research. Yeah, let's do that. That'll increase recruitable population. You want your Gustav. If the details apply to access tank types, yes. Push for railway guns. Yeah, no, we're not going to focus on railway guns much. I'm not saying I'm not building any, but that's not going to be a major focus. Let's continue here. Mobile warfare. Okay, well, we've got more political points. Well, we can do now infantry as opposed to the sort of guard unit. Okay, right. Says Himmler. Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler. Oh, stop U-boat effects. Okay. Yes, we want that. And okay, so we got U-boat effort, which will get us a couple of more dockyards, which is good. Expanded Deutsches Werk shipyards, 4 dockyards, 35 days. Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. So we're going to spend that time get 4 more dockyards. We'll do a heavy aircraft factory. Few tank, some trucks, but maybe we should do another truck. We want a motorized German army. Let's do a uniform factory as well. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so currently we are building Type 7As. So what you're considering is design lacks some models, so no, I didn't want to do that either. I keep clicking the wrong spot. Need to click the little anchor. So You got me looking at very complicated things. Submarine ship designer. Black ice is complicated, and not that it's bad. But okay, we'll look at the Type 7As. And so for fuel range, okay, fuel range here, medium. So you're thinking just long range, because extreme sounds a bit. Okay, well, it's still locked. This module is expensive to refit. Okay, so we can do that though. Okay. You want me or... No, I don't need the voice chat right now, and that would actually sort of cause a bit of a problem for me. I still haven't got my front speaker jack thing to work anymore. Okay. So right now we're sort of stuck to that. The squiggly line things for stealth, right? Okay. Early stealth. One, so we could do that for 8 because we have. Oh, now we have plenty. Okay, so we built up some with that. So we've got better stealth, long range. Does that look good to you guys, or should I? Wait a minute, there you go. Okay. Sorry for the need to type, but like I say, my speaker situation isn't the best. Okay, so we're gonna giving you guys a moment to respond if you like, but we're probably gonna say this. We do have the 8 points because we currently have 40. Just mass produce these. Okay, so we're gonna save this. Type. Do we have a okay. At AA, no, we want to avoid AA. This is, yeah, the one I just created. So what we're going to do here is, as you say, we are going to go to 1 instead of infinity. So we'll just complete production of currently produced types. I'm going to let, we'll go, well, we'll let that build to 5. But we're going to go here for 3 and there we go. Well, stay out of air range. Try to provide some air cover. I do plan on building some, once we get some of the tech things settled, some ME-110s as sort of long-range fighter coverage out to the sea. That will also help with protecting my naval bombers and flying boats. Okay, let's see what else we might want to. Foreign recruitment. I don't really think that should really start until the war starts. There was, well, nah. Try to make sweeping statements is hard. There was foreign recruitment to the SS before World War II starts. a really hardcore bunch of guys were coming out of Austria. Now, is Austria foreign recruitment? I don't know. Obviously, yes, it was a foreign country, but they weren't just picking up various, like later on Dutch, Norwegian, Swedes, joining. It was just, and they weren't also at that time yet allowing people like the Volksdeutsch from Hungary or Romania or other places, but they were recruiting sort of fifth columnist types, Austrians into basically this unit here, or maybe a bit more this unit, probably, which becomes this unit, I should say, before the invasion of Austria. And trying to remember, I really don't think they were recruiting later on any Sudeten Germans into the SS, but the SS was managing the operation of the Freikorps elements that were sort of Sudeten Germans that were going over the bordering somewhere between committing acts of terrorism / guerrilla warfare, somewhere along that dividing line, that they were doing that. Most of those Freikorps types, once the Sudeten Germans get incorporated into the Reich, they become SA members. There is also the Danzig SS unit that is small, in the few hundreds, that gets about 1,000 or more. I think they're mainly Totenkopf for band members, sent over to flush out the numbers, and these are just random people from all over Germany, not specifically to there. So if you consider those foreign, yes, there was foreign recruitment to the SS, but outside of very closely controlled groups of Germans with a different passport, if you will, there was not really any pre-war of any numbers pre-war recruitment into the SS of any type. Radar on your coast is always helpful. Yep, I'm going to do radar as soon as I really can. Improve Dutch trade. You're right, I need to do that. Hello, Alexander Large. Yes, there were various escapees from justice, most assuredly. Now, what currently do we have for... We can't build any of the radar stations yet. We still need to improve that, but we are going to be building both along the coast as well as key interior states. We will be putting radar. And yes, the trade with the Dutch. We want to keep that. Okay, and Britain's really outstripping me. We need to put more into that. Thank you, IKB. And we're going to, not the stream, but we're going to end the episode here. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for liking the videos if you made it this far. And also, if you made it this far and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Love to see you around more often. And of course, I want your comments, questions, suggestions, tips on playing as you see them. May not help me in this game, but it'll help me in future games, as well as those who read the comments below during and after watching. So thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.